Well, hello there, and this is Auntie. And I am here with an Auntie Said Isn't So. Tonight we are going to be talking to Lord Lukan, okay? And he is going to give us an update on Moka from Love After Lockup. Y'all, I am so excited, and I hope you are too. So let's get started.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop
auntie
boop.
that everybody needs.
You can make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and lives, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, welcome back, everybody. And this is Auntie. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family, one of the best families on the YT. And to all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. I want to welcome Ashley S to the membership. Welcome to the family. Welcome, Ashley. You all please and make Ashley feel welcomed to the channel. So tonight, okay, we do have an exclusive interview with Mr. Lord Lukan. Lord Lukan did an interview the other day. I believe it was yesterday with Moka from 90 Day Fiance. And honey, some stuff popped off. As a result, I just did a video sharing a portion, a very small portion of what happened during that interview and the news clip. We're going to talk to Lord Lukan, and we're going to get a little bit of insight about, number one, who he is, and number two, what really happened. And hopefully he'll be able to give us an update on Moka. So I'm going to introduce to you all none other than Lord Lunkin. Hello there.
Thank you so much.
Am
I
I
love that.
pronouncing your name right?
You didn't, but that was so delightful that you can just call me Lord Lunken. I'm fine with Lord Lunken, but it is Lucan. But I'll accept that. I think that was so charming when I saw you do that earlier. So do please feel free to call me whatever you like. I'm at your mercy.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about you. Until this, all of this explosiveness and the criminality of it all, I had never heard of you. Why don't you tell me and my guests who you are?
Okay, I'll give you the abbreviated version. I guess I am Lord Lucan to a degree, or at least that is the sort of the pseudonym. I've been doing this. I guess I took it sort of half seriously back in February. So I'm still a newbie. I've not been around for very long. I guess I do reviews, but I'm quite silly. I make silly jokes, and I have kind of a pace to my videos usually. I just started doing some live streaming, and I'm feeling my way around. So I'm not. I'm still very much. I'm like a toddler walking. You know, you can see that there's definitely some sort of focus happening, but you're not quite sure whereabouts that focus is. It's yes, I am a toddler toddling right about now, a white-teeth toddler. But I'm all right with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. I did upload a few videos a couple of years ago, but I think I got 26 views, and 5 of those were me. So it was yeah. So that's pretty much it, really. I'm but a young buck, I suppose, in that
Right.
sense.
Everybody has a start. So welcome to the YouTube family. So how long have you been looking at Love After Lockup?
Since must be about December-ish.
Okay,
Time.
so you're new not only to YouTube as a content creator, but you're also new to Love After Lockup.
That's correct. Yes, indeed. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So so it's all new. It's my subscribers who we share a lot. Actually, a lot of mine watch you, I'm very happy to sort of share in the community of viewers. So a lot of them say, "Hey, have you seen this person?" Or they'll reference a particular person, and I'm like, "No, I've got no idea." I know your key characters, like Deontay. He's a favorite. I do love a bit of Deontay. Didn't know, of course, that Deontay and Discount Keira Knightley. What's her name? Lindsay. I never knew those two were together.
Yeah.
But she's traded a Deontay for a Jeffrey Dahmer, as I call him.
Yes, it was a disaster, and it's still a disaster.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a fair trade. I mean, I'm not sure on your take on
that. Yeah, I think that she didn't make the right choice, but who am I to judge? Okay.
Well, and wasn't there a third guy? Wasn't there a man that was some years his senior as well?
His name was... Oh, I cannot think of what his name is.
He must have been. He was a good character then, was he?
He was the one with the crooked lip. I'm sure my people have Scott. Okay, his name was Scott.
But not Scott with the hair that was with the
Scott
lady
with the bald head, right? Well, welcome then to Love After Lockup. I've been doing Love After Lockup from the very first season, very first episode.
Wow. Have you been been YouTubing the whole time as well?
Yes. I've been YouTubing for about 5 or 6 years now, and it's been exciting. It's been challenging. It's been all those things. And I usually don't do interviews, and if I do interviews, I do interviews with the membership behind the wall, as I call it. So I'm delighted to have you here.
I'm honoured that in that case, I have a YouTuber with pedigree, and I am occupying a space which is seldom taken. So I'm honoured to be here, very much.
So where are you from?
I'm from the sunny Isles of Britain. Yeah, or more specifically, I'm near a place called Windsor. I think Windsor Castle is at least something that's known transatlantically.
Wow.
So not far from Windsor.
Okay.
So towards the south, hence my sort of painfully British accent.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell us about yourself that we would be really interested in? I see a guitar in the back.
There's oh my goodness me. How long have you got? How long are we streaming for? This could be a long conversation. And to keep it clean also. Okay, so things in my past that might have been interesting. I was a photographer for many years. I did some interesting things. I'll let you define interesting under your own terms. I'm also a tattooist.
Oh, wow.
I was a teacher, sort of at international level. Yes, I've got a wonderful cat who's sitting here. He's just out of shot, unfortunately. He's usually in my streams, but he's very unhappy that he's slightly out of shot today. I suppose there's a few things, but I don't know. We've just met. I would hate you to put me.
Yes,
put
we have, and I really want to. Well, I mean, it seems like everybody likes your mustache so far. I love your aesthetic. I love your style. Love that chain around your neck too. I love.
Tis real. Tis real. That's sets me apart from some of the people we watch. Yeah, it's not Etsy.
Very nice. So let's find out a little bit about your relationship with Mocha. Now,
Oh
one of
God.
my faithful, and I mean she's been with me probably since I started YouTube. Her name is Sonia. She is a member of Auntie's Advice. She reached out to me today by telephone. And I was right in the middle of
I'm
a
not sure I understand
meeting.
that word. What's that one?
Telephone. Okay. She reached out to me while I was in the middle of a meeting, and when I saw her pop up, I was like, "Ooh, got to take this." So she tells me about what's going on with Mocha, and she follows you. So she gave me
Oh,
a little bit of information. After I got out of my meeting, of course, I went and looked to see what was going on with Mocha. So she also told me something very interesting is that you wrote a diss song about Michael.
I did. Yeah, yeah.
So,
He posted that on his Instagram reels, with the caption, as promised. Because in the beginning, you see, what I've done is just before the track starts, I went on his Instagram live, and I was sitting there watching him, and he was talking about how he didn't mind when people said what they wanted to say about him. He was quite happy about it. And so I wrote to him. So if someone was to write a diss track about you, how would you feel? And he goes, oh, if someone did that, I'll be fine. I'll be posting it on my pages. And I was like, okay, let's test out that theory. So I dropped a little diss track on him. It's just some fun, really. I say a lot of things about Mr. Mills, because he's an easy target. I don't think he's a bad person. I think he's a very nice guy. I think he's nice but dim. I think he's got the wrong people around him leading in the wrong directions. With the right team, he would be a really credible person. And I think he's got the wrong idea being, going for this music business. As I've said to people before, I think he needs to get into something. His demographic is probably a lot like yours and mine, where it's going to be 30 to 40-year-old women is going to be our audience majority. Right? That's certainly how it is for me. So he needs to tune into what that is. I mean, from your experience, what does a 30 to 40-year-old woman buy? If you're watching Life After Lockup, it's candles. Everybody's bought blinking candles, right? Candles here, there, and everywhere. So why not get into candles and have like Montana Mills candle range, or something like this? And then once he's generated that business, he's generated the idea that then he would have credible people taking notice. We're always with the sum total of the five, the phrase, with the sum total of the five people we hang around with the most. And if he's surrounding himself with, love him to death, Moka, fantastic guy, but I do feel that he's slightly flexible with his reality.
oh, okay.
He's a lovely, lovely guy. And I think he's got a lot of genuine elements to him. I mean, I think he's got fantastic humanity. I think he's got a great heart. But I do think, though, that some people, when you've been forced to have the strategy in life that you need to maybe manipulate the things around you in order to either garner more attention and things like this, I think that he's had to be like that. And now this is a behavior that he's learned. But I don't think he's a bad guy. But I think if Montana Mills surrounds himself with people who are kind of like puts themselves first, not him first, I think that's a move that perhaps he could do better with.
So are you questioning? Here's what I'm hearing, that you are questioning the authenticity of Mocha.
Some parts, yes. Some parts, yes.
Really? Let's
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about it.
All right, let's talk about it.
Let's
MTK
talk
style,
about it.
but without the terrible decision. He's a terrible decision maker too. Sorry, please ask away.
So why do you question? Because you said if he was around the right people, which in my brain equates to Mocha isn't the right person. You also said that um he needs to be around someone who is about the artist and not about themselves. So, what do you really think? Are you implying that Mocha isn't authentic, that he is about himself and not Montana Mills?
I think it's kind of two questions, so I'll answer that
Yeah, it's two questions.
in sort of two ways. I don't say that he's necessarily the wrong person. He could be a better person.
How so?
When I was interviewing him, one of the things he said that he liked about Montana Mills when they first met is the way that Montana Mills put everybody else first, and that kind of it suggested then that elevated him in his own internal estimations of himself. That he felt good. I mean, it feels great when somebody puts you first.
Right.
That's often why we're in relationships, right? Where we
Right.
fall in love because it feels like somebody's elevated us to that great standard. And I think that's probably what he felt. But if we're talking about someone's professional career, then feelings have no real place to that.
Absolutely.
There's no point in having feelings in a business relationship. But there's always a lot of feelings being spoken about. So to me, it's not necessarily it's the wrong person. It just could be a better person who's got their mind on the business. We've heard a lot of you need to take the ring off and da da da. Okay, but what else do we need to do? Montana Mills has got a mountain to get over if he was to make people forget about the fact he's got a wife, he's got children, and he's got the past on this TV show. That's a huge thing to try and get people to forget as a society. So the best thing to do, I would say, is to embrace that. Not necessarily have another, who is it, the Osmonds or something like this, who's the family band. Not necessarily something like that, but then let's use that to the advantage. And he is the rapper that has a wife. He is the rapper that has the desire to talk about his family. I don't know if Will Smith is particularly any good to talk about anymore. But back in the day, he did a song with his son, I think. Was it You and Me or Just the Two of Us?
Yeah.
And that was fine. Nobody seemed to be minding particularly about that because Will Smith had that character. And I think if Montana Mills had that idea or someone to embrace who he is rather than make him into something who he's not, I don't buy him as a genuine gangster. I think he's too nice for that. I think he's a good guy, and I think he's got a really nice sense of humor as well. When he was the doula dude, that's probably the funniest thing this guy said. I mean, I think he's got I think inside him he's a really great guy. I don't think the show's tapped into his wit. I think he's nice but dim, but I think he's got a great heart and just needs really needs the right people to get him in the right direction. But yeah.
And so, did you think that Mocha was that person or no?
No, I mean, if he's just going to introduce him to somebody, fair enough. But if he's going to actively manage him and take a percentage of his earnings, then he needs to stop using feelings. He needs to not go to this. What was this? The Crown and Cringe or something, wasn't it? The bar that they're going to be going to. I think it's if they filmed it, they'll be going there this coming Friday on. You guys call it Felon Friday, right?
I don't. Someone, Kiki and Kibitz does.
Oh, right. I've heard the phrase, you see. So
Yeah.
I think I've heard OG Cam use that phrase as well. So I thought it was like a colloquial thing.
No.
Right.
No, not over here. So let me ask you a question. Did you do? A lot of people questioned Mocha's legitimacy when they had the scene where they were at the studio and Mocha was showing these platinum albums on the wall. A lot of people believe that was fugazi, as we call phony, fake. Have you done any research? Have you been able to?
That's of course, absolutely. So on the records, you'll see the name Craig Mitchell quite a lot.
Okay,
that's the name that pops up. Craig Mitchell, or also known as Craig the engineer, is a legitimate guy. He's a legitimate person. He refers to Moka as little brother. At first, I thought that meant his actual little brother, but now I'm a little skeptical on that. I'm not entirely sure about that now. But So
Yeah, we use that here in America. My little brother. That's just like a term of endearment, but it doesn't
sure.
mean right biological or anything like that.
Yeah, so this is starting to come a bit more clear to me now. So I'm learning, and I'm always happy to be wrong.
Okay.
Uh, but um, but yeah, so this so Craig then is a Grammy Award nominated um, producer, music engineer that's worked for some big names, Def Jam Records, for example. So you know he's a legitimate guy. There is nothing wrong about that. Which is where I need to be kind of clear. I'm not saying that they're all fake and this sort of thing. I'm saying that it's the manipulation of reality or that flexibility. Oh, managed to catch it. Flexibility with reality. Do you see what I mean? It's not because it's not entirely fake. Because in that studio, a record was made by some people that were signed to Def Jam Records. You know, so there is an element of truth to that. It's just it's been shapened a little bit differently in order to achieve a certain goal. So so for me that's what I mean. It's I'm not calling him fake. I'm saying that he's flexible with reality. You know, it's I don't know if I'm trying to make that distinction clear.
Okay. So, what made you interview Mocha? What made you want to interview him?
Well, he posted on Instagram my video. He was
Oh,
laughing at
what
it
video
was
was that?
I did a deep dive on him. Hence, I know what I'm talking about. Well, I know the things that I found whilst researching him online, and I'm pretty good at my research. It's I think it's one of the things that perhaps my subscribers would recognise about me. Yeah, so he posted it then on his Instagram, and then sent me that. Sent me the picture of it on his Instagram. Then I laughed at it, and then I posted it on mine. And then he posted a picture of him posting the one that I posted on his reels again. And it said on that there was a caption at the bottom. I think it was something along the lines of "You've got my attention on your platform. You should do some interviews. You're funny AF." And I thought, well, that's just like an opportunity that I can't miss. So I said, okay, well, thank you very much. Incredibly kind. Why don't you be my first? And he was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. I was like, cool. I suppose I better figure out how to do it then, you know. So, and that was literally it. We sort of spoke a few times, and I'd like to think we became quite friendly. He's, you know, from a bloke to a bloke way, he's a nice guy. You know, he's a nice guy. He's funny. He's endearing. Which is what they say a lot of sociopaths, isn't it? You know,
Right.
they're incredibly good at certain things, and he probably does tick a lot of boxes. But then, hey, sometimes maybe we would tick more boxes than we'd want to admit in ourselves. But yes, so I think he was a cool guy. You know, again, if you ignore all the rest of the stuff, you know, it's like if I've got a friend, for example, and he's awful with women. He's always cheating on them. You know, he's disrespectful. Just awful. But he's such a lovely bloke. You know, and just sort of, you know, he's always really nice to me, and he's so sweet. And you know, he's like caring. You know, I was working on a tattoo one night, and I'd run out. We were having a drink while we were doing it, and he came over with a packet of cigarettes and a bottle of whiskey for us, and didn't charge us any money. You know. It just if he could adapt that behavior to treating women like that,
Right.
he would be a really, really nice guy. And I'm not saying that's the same in Moka. I don't know. I'm not going to make any comment on how he treats women. I have no idea about that. I couldn't possibly comment. But he's sort of the same. He's got that kind of. I can see there's traits of stuff that I don't like. But then I probably have things that people don't like.
True.
I'm perfectly happy to acknowledge that.
Yeah, we all.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I just thought he was a cool guy, you know, and I was really enjoying myself. I was so buttered. Yeah.
I saw your reaction when everything happened. Can you just kind of briefly?
I'm quite embarrassed.
Can you just kind of? You were embarrassed?
Yeah. Well, I'm embarrassed looking back at it because I went, oh, I kind of make this noise, and it's on a lot of the clips that people have used. They keep that one noise, and it's like this weird kind of noise. And I was like, oh, like, you know, on the bloopers on the TV when they're doing, you know, the news bloopers or something like that, they lose the live feed, or, you know, the person on the other end says something inappropriate and they've got to cut, or they get hit by a car or something, you know, and they cut away, and the producer sits there, the presenter sits there like in the headlights, not knowing what to do. That's what I saw in myself. I was like, I mean, you can't prepare for that. It was my first interview, so I was like, what do I do in this situation? I was like, do I cut? Do I shut him down? I thought, right, okay, turn to the comments, work with that for a minute, and then see if I can bring him back. So over here in the corner, I'm sort of tapping away with one hand, trying to figure things out. And I'm like, right, okay, do I just go? Because at first I didn't notice. I thought when he stood up, his face was different, because I only saw a very small piece. I used a different piece of software to you. And so my screen of him was very, very small. You can't really see the expression so clearly. So I thought at first, actually, it might have just been a couple of mates turned up, and he'd put the top down because he didn't want, you know, I don't know, for whatever reason. So I had no idea it was anything serious. I literally thought that, you know, perhaps that. So I joked something along the lines of, oh God, he might have been assassinated, because I didn't think that by any stretch of the imagination something serious would happen. I thought it quite the opposite. So, you know, so if anything, that's why I cringe slightly now when I see that, because I'm like, I didn't know what to do. I made this stupid noise, like, and yeah.
It's fine though. Don't be hard on yourself, because at the end of the day, you are a human being and you have reactions, and sometimes, and you know what? Guess what? Eventually, it will be endearing, and they will look for that sound, that reaction from you. I thought you did a great job handling it, because you didn't know what was going on, right? And when you're doing live interviews, like, somebody can come down your staircase in the back while you're live with me. I'm going to have to find some kind of way to improvise, to, you know, shut it down, especially if they come in and they've got lingerie on or something like that, right? So, so I had to find a way of doing. I thought you did a great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But, you know, when I listened to it, and I want you to, you know, kind of talk to them about, you know, what happened. But when I listened to it from your channel, you could actually hear banging prior to him, the individuals come up. You can actually hear it, and you can see where he started making adjustments, or where he kind of was, you know, kind of looking off, because you could hear it in the background. So why don't you tell everybody from your perspective, because your perspective is better than anybody else's, what happened?
Sure, yeah. So we just got into the juicy bits. We just got into the let's talk about Montana Mills part, which was like fantastic, because I know I could see some people in the chat were getting a bit impatient. They wanted to talk about certain things, but I had a plan. I was determined to kind of stick to it. I wanted to try it out and get a decent amount of time going. So yeah, I just played a game with him called Kick the Lyric. So I would give him a couple of lines of a lyric, and he would have to complete the song. So I'd given him his own song, and he got it wrong. So you know, everything was working really nicely. We got into the first question about Montana Mills, which I'd phrased in a kind of salacious way, just to create a soundbite. You know, I said, "What was it that first attracted you to him?" Just kind of, but not so many people picked up on that. I also used the phrase when you first came across him, what was it that first attracted you to him? So I had phrased it in such a way that was so salacious, but I don't think nobody's mentioned that.
Oh, I picked up on that immediately.
So yeah, I did phrase it in the prod him about, you know, I'm not going to go into that, you know, that subject of that sort of thing. You know, that's a minefield waiting to happen. But I thought I would insinuate, and it's kind of fun to do it. Nobody noticed, so it was fine. And so he was talking and talking and talking, and he he would talk for a long time, but often it would go in very, very similar ways to the last thing he'd said. And it would sort of get a bit, I told him it was a bit victim-y. And so he'd started to go there again. So I was trying to draw him back. I said, right, I'm going to draw you back to the question. As I'm doing this, he looked off to the side. I think as you played in your clip, he looks off to the side, stands up, gun comes out, and in the TV behind his head, we can see outlines of two people. And then it goes black. I've listened to it a few times. I can't hear the things, but I can see him flinching. The question is, see, I get all Judge Judy about this, and I love Judge Judy. And what she says, of course, if it doesn't make sense, it's not true, which is something you can apply to all aspects of your life. I love Judge Judy. Why couldn't he hear what was going on? How did he not hear someone kicking in his front door and smashing his cars with a baseball bat? And presumably there would have been a level of shouting from the girlfriend. Like, how, he didn't have headphones on talking to me. So how did we miss that? That is an unanswered question in my mind.
Does he live in a hood? If he lives in a hood, or the ghetto, as we call it, maybe he's used to those kinds of sounds, or you know what I mean? It depends on where you live at, here in America. I know he's in Vegas, and Vegas, I'm sure, got the hood. So he may have thought it was a neighbor next door. I mean, it could be multiple reasons why he didn't react. Now, I live in a very bougie, a suburb portion of the city, and I would hear it because it's very quiet in this particular neighborhood. But in my previous neighborhood, I would have been like, oh, that's just a sound, that's as usual, right? So maybe it depends on where he lives, as to why he normalized it.
True. I mean, yeah, you could think of a number of ways. It could be the sort of climatized to that sort of noise. You can hear a police siren in the distance, or whatever distance that is. So presumably there could have been other sort of peripheral noise. It could be also a case that, hey, maybe this guy didn't try very hard. Maybe the door didn't take a lot of kicking in. If the girlfriend's come out, maybe she left the door ajar. Maybe the door being kicked in is, we're taking the policeman's word of that. If there's a footprint on a door that's slightly open, the assumption then perhaps is the footprint has something to do with the door that's open. But if the girlfriend's outside, presumably she left via the door. Maybe she left it open. So,
Maybe
I think
he was running in the door and trying to close it, and they kicked the door,
And if he kicked the door in, why did he go around the back? Is there a need to kick the door in if you're going to go around the back?
I don't know. It just seems like a whole lot of was going on.
know,
His home or her home? Whose home was it?
Pass. Now, you see, I referred to it as a home that they shared. So I don't know. I'm not really sure. So was it on Buffalo and Alta? I think the vague address of it. Excuse me. So so not known that one. I'm usually pretty good at finding these sorts of things, but that one would be pretty difficult. It's certainly not as easy to research.
Hood. We probably should look up the crime rate, because the crime rate would show whether or not that's the hood, the ghetto, or something else. Because it doesn't. If it wasn't his home, then he wasn't the target, right? It may have been his girlfriend. I'm sure that other things are going to come out about it, but
yeah. I'm looking forward to that. In fact, when I'm going to say when Moka comes back out, I'd like to think he would. The only thing that I think is going to be a sticking point for him is if it's all the part about the gun, isn't it? Because the policeman, I think and certainly in the one that Montana Mills sent me. That one had he said there's a good chance it's justified, but we're just going to do our investigation. So
But isn't he a felon?
this is the thing. So I mean, the law over there is not for me to say. I know that your viewers, I'm sure, are probably fantastic at this sort of thing. But so I don't know what the rules are in Las Vegas. I'm aware that there is one creator that's looked into it a little bit, but I wasn't really listening. so I just knew I was in it at some point, and I was just blah blah blah. Oh, there's me. I was quite proud, you know. So yeah, that's as far as I'm aware. So don't know on that one, but that's going to be the sticking point. Whether or not, because you guys have got the 3-strike rule. I don't know if is that like a nationwide thing or is it? Yeah.
Yes.
So if he's already been in prison twice, let's assume then he's had 2 felony charges.
He has it's a federal law. 3-strike rule is a federal law.
Okay. I'm going to nod like I know that you know what you're talking about. But there's federal
and state.
State. Oh, okay, right. Oh, I see what you mean. So one's within the state, one's within the whole country.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So no, I do understand.
Yeah.
Okay. So in that case, that's the only one that's going to be sticky. Because I've also seen somewhere that if it's the girlfriend's gun, then she could get done for associative possession or something or other possession. So yeah, that's going to be the sticky point.
So based on what you saw and based on what I saw, let's put all the gun stuff, all the regulations and statutes and all of that. We're going to put all that to the side. Vegas does have, I believe, a stand your ground law. I think it does. I'm not sure.
Right.
And it appeared to be self-defense.
100%. I 100% agree with you there. Yeah. When I spoke to the Nevada Police Department today, I made it really clear that was exactly what I saw.
Oh, so you spoke to the I have to show my trending cup. My daughter got me one of these.
Ta-da!
So you did speak with the police here in the United States?
I have, yeah. I spoke to Nevada PD.
Did they call you or you called them?
Well, it was I saw that Crime Stoppers number, so I gave them a shout, and then they gave me a shout. It was quite funny actually talking to the woman online. I think she never met an English person before, and she was quite. So you're from New England? No, I'm from the England. Yeah, she was quite. So why are you calling me? So you're in England. This is the American Crime Stoppers, right? I was like, yeah, but no, it's important. It was important to me that I can only see as much as anybody else that watches that video saw. But being there at the time, I think was really important. It was just, to me, it was just so important for someone to say, hey, look, I saw what was going on. I've got evidence of 2 people coming at him on his property and him getting up to then defend himself. And he's moving in a kind of reversing action. Mm-hmm. This is a defensive maneuver. There's a number of different things in that video that I think are really important that anybody making that decision needs to see. They need to know that from my perspective of having watched it over and over again, having understood a bit more about it, the guy, it was acting in self-defense. There's no 2 ways about it.
Oh, absolutely. You could see it. You could see it in the television. You could see those guys in the reflection on the television that they walked up on him. But I mean, of course, he's sitting in the backyard and he's, interviewing with you. So he's not the aggressor. He absolutely was not the aggressor.
100%. Yeah. So that's, I don't think that'll be too difficult to prove, because if the guy's already turned up and he's smashing the place up, it surely is not going to be too difficult to prove. So I'm confident and I'm hopeful that Moka's going to walk on that. Absolutely. surely there's no there's not enough evidence to charge him or anything on that. I don't think.
I'm just hoping his felonies are old enough for him to be able to have possession of that firearm.
Well, he has flaunted it on Instagram. So there's two ways of looking at that. He's either, I don't imagine he's silly enough to do something like flaunt
No, yes they are.
a felony like that. Is he that silly? I don't know.
think a lot of people are. We had another Love After Lockup cast member by the name of Harry who flaunted his stuff on and he was straight fresh out of jail. Still with an ankle bracelet around his leg, and he was flashing a firearm. So, I mean, yes, these Love After Lockup people, they're a whole damn different breed. And
this is what I'm starting to learn. You know, you sort of think, surely no one's that stupid.
Like, oh, yes, they are.
Oh, well, this is the people that are that stupid. I see. This is why they get caught for the crimes. I see.
Absolutely.
That makes perfect sense.
He's going to need a. So, did they ask you for your video? Did you lead them? Give them the link to the video?
Yeah, just give them the link
because that's evidence at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I've given him the link and all that sort of stuff, and they. I don't think she could quite understand what I was saying, and then she went on about something in. She asked me if I was talking about the disappearing children in New Hampshire.
What?
And I was like, what? I was like,
what the?
When did that? And so I kind of thought, what is this? Is this something I don't know? What? Yeah, that's what she said to me. Disappearing children in New Hampshire. No idea what she was talking about there. And then I was like, no, it's a news story. It was online, and it said if you've got any information, call Crime Stoppers. I'm calling you because you need to know that this guy was defending himself, and there's no two ways about it. And if I can help out at all by giving him my side of it and kind of saying, hey, look, please take notice that he was acting in self-defense, then I'd do anything that I could to give a bit of a hand, really. You know what I mean?
That's very honorable.
Well, it's just the right thing to do, isn't it? Well, at least that's what it occurred to me. Usually talking to those types of people is not the right thing to do necessarily all the time. But in this particular situation, I was like, right, he was so gracious in being interviewed by me. After I'd got him so hard on him as well. I was really tough, and my friend described it. I was poking the bear pretty hard with a very frosty finger.
So you were actually trolling him.
I was looking for the truth, and I found a number of things that I thought contradicted some of the statements he'd made. Again, I found some evidence of flexibility of reality, and that was what led me down into one of my little rabbit holes.
I'm going to have to use that flexibility of reality.
It's such a nice way of saying someone's lying, isn't it? But it's like, but if you would like to kind of appear slightly more polite, yes, he's flexible with reality. I'm not calling him a liar. He's being flexible. Yeah.
So since his imprisonment, because I'm sure he's being held
Sure.
in a cell right now. Have you received any updates from him or from Montana Mills?
No. Michael. Yeah, Mike. I call him Mills. I'm comfortable with that usually. So yeah, he did say he'll keep me up to date and stuff. I've also left Moka a bunch of messages. But I'm not sure how Mike feels about me, in all honesty. I went in pretty hard on that guy on a number of times. So, the fact that he called me was a shock, to be quite honest. You know what I mean? I've been pretty horrible about that guy. So, I'm not surprised he didn't tell me to go F myself, if I'm quite honest with you. But
are you that hard on? So you must be harder on him than I am. Because I am hard on Michael and Justine.
Oh, good. I see. I need to watch a bit more of your stuff then. God. I need to be watching some of this. Yeah. But I try not to watch too much stuff of other people in case I then actually I do it myself, or if I say something that's been noticed by other people. I don't like to.
Yeah, me either.
I don't like to repeat things, and there's a lot of repeated
Yeah, I want to
stuff.
be authentic. I mean, just like when, before we started this interview, I told you I'm not going to ask you any pre-questions or anything like that because I like everything to be authentic. So I tend to not watch other content creators either because it either piss me off, or it'll bore me to death. So
Oh, you won't be bored. It moves way too quickly to be bored. I see our styles are very, very different. So I'm not. I don't think I'd piss you off because it's very, very different.
well, I'm going to be looking. I'm extremely intrigued, and the ones who follow you, they love you.
I love my subscribe. Again, we share a good deal of those, but I am so lucky. The people that follow me and that have joined the membership are amazing people. They really do. I love them to death. I really do. That's why I call them the beautiful people. I genuinely love them. They say the most wonderful things, and hugely supportive and stuff. It was I don't know, it's so dreamlike, this whole scenario, like 2 months ago, whatever it was. I was a guy who was annoyed because I was going to try and be an editor for a content creator, and he'd put out some pieces and said, right, take these and then go edit some stuff and I'll tell you if I think you're good enough. And he never even bothered getting back to me, and I was like, no, I know, even just to say, yeah, thanks for doing it. I know, yeah. So that was why I went, right, I'm doing it myself. And then the OG Cam video that I did came out, and then the Montana Mills one, and that one's, that's my most successful video. I still get, on your level, it's probably not quite as much as your views do. I notice your views are pretty good, but I still get a couple of thousand views a day on the Montana Mills video. So
I have to go and look at it.
Yes, but the I look back now and I'm kind of, it's the second video I did, so I'm like, the voice could be better and it could have a bit more passion.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I am my worst critic. I very much am. But
you shouldn't be. And you shouldn't be.
Well, someone's got to keep this under control, otherwise it'll go off the rails and crash into a ditch or something. So I need to keep myself thing. Because my cat is my significant other right now. Okay. So someone has to keep those reins on me, and if I don't do the job, then God knows who will. Yes, that's my that's the position. But I'm realistic with it. I just have kind of set a certain thing now. I'm like, right, you're only as good as the last video you put out, in my mind. And so when I put the new one out, I'm like, is it better than the last one? Or I'll sit there, I don't think this is funny. And I put it out, and the wonderful subscribers that we have, they go, oh, I like this, or this is the particular point I like. And I was just like, oh, I love these people. Like, I was having a rubbish day, doubting myself, thinking this is a trash video. And then they come over and they're just so wonderful. They are the daylight to my otherwise slightly dull existence sometimes. That sounds very depressing, doesn't it? Nice. I probably don't. I don't mean the dull existence part, but I do mean that how important they are as light.
Well, they turn into family very quickly. Because you see the same people, you actually look for them. Like, I know when my people are missing, and like they really become family to you. So. Yeah, good luck on your journey. So the diss track that you wrote for Michael, is it original content? Is it your content, or is it on a track of someone else's music? Or
the music was done by a guy called I think it's Get Silly. I think his name is. But
do you have the rights to it?
It's a remix of what's that TV show? Goosebumps.
I would love to hear, but I got a feeling it'll copyright strike me if you don't own it.
Oh no, it's copyright free. The song's copyright free. You're more than welcome to use it. I think it would ID it to me anyway, so I wouldn't strike you But my auntie, we can't be doing that now, can we?
Right. No, I mean, like some people, they'll say, "Oh, this is copyright free," and then as soon as you go off of it, YouTube
Oh
is
yeah,
like,
I've got no
"Hey,
problems
there's
with
a
it.
copyright strike.
Yeah.
This music was originally made by boo 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 boo
Yeah.
boo."
Oh, he gave me permission as well. I told him what I was going to do with it. He graciously said, yeah, go ahead, you go do that. And I was like, great, I will go do that. And so it's only a short thing. It's I think the actual track itself is probably about a minute and a half, but the beginning part of me kind of trolling Montana Mills is probably about a minute.
So, is there
Excuse me.
anybody else that you troll, or anybody else on the show that you like? Or okay, so let me ask you this question: Who is the best rapper, Cameron or Mills?
Cameron is the better rapper, but his stuff's getting really samey. I don't know if you've heard when if you compare the last two tracks that they've released, they're again, you're only as good as the last track you released. Okay, if we apply that rule, then OG Cam did the one where we saw him. Was it Bag a Bag? I think it's called
right.
something like this, right? So that was his last tune, which is a lot like the stuff that he did not long after coming out. When he was going to be girls licking on each other and all this lot, and it's just a bunch of juveniles hanging around because he's so short. They needed like young people to make him look normal size. So there's that. His stuff starting to sound the same. He goes, yeah.
Right,
he does that,
right.
and that's his kind of like his signature, right? So there's that one. The last one I've heard of Montana Mills, aside from he put one out, Me, Myself, and I, but that's an old song. That's 6 years old. The newer one that I heard is the one he did at Get 'Em Records during one of the episodes where he goes and sees the guys with the big tattoo on his face. That is awful. That is just the worst thing. That song is why Montana Mills uses auto-tune. It is the worst thing in the world. It's like, I don't know. It's like, if you do that, it sounds like that, but I'm singing, it's kind of cool. It sounds kind of in pain throughout the course of it. He's like, there's someone really stubbed his toe before he came into this studio. So it's something really, the chorus is horrendous. So this guy put this out on an album with some terrible covers of some popular 90s rock tunes, Alice in Chains. I don't know if that means anything to you. That was awful. But okay, if you're just comparing the most recent things, then OG Cam, head and shoulders above. On the whole, Montana Mills is good. There's so much auto-tune and production, and half the tunes aren't even his. I do one where I play his tune side by side with exactly the same tune done by another person. It's My Cake by Montana Mills. It's exactly the same as Varvouche, I think, called Logic. I think that's the name of the song. Exactly the same. They start off with the sample of Lana Del Rey, and they go into the song, and I play them side by side. They're identical. The only difference is the lyrics change.
So do you play them side by side on so do you do these comparisons for your subscribers?
Oh, I did it on the video.
Okay.
Yeah. So but it's the same. It is the same. Plus Montana Mills does
almost like somebody said about Montana Mills tennis shoes, that they're the same as some tennis shoes on AliExpress.
Yes, they are. Yeah. But they're more expensive if you buy them from England. If you buy them from England, they're like £20, which is, I don't know, like $24 perhaps. But if you buy them over there, then you're only paying like $9 for them or something like this. This is like crazy.
But he sells them for like upwards of what, $100, $200?
You use the word sells there. That's very hopeful. I don't know about how much selling is going on, or at least the price of them. When when you see them on Instagram, people say, "Hey, send us a link to your trainers." You go DM me. All right, cool. But if you're paying for them, there's no Visa signs on that website or anything like that. So if you're paying for them, you're probably doing PayPal. If you're paying more than $600 on PayPal, that automatically produces a tax document. So wise man say, pay less than £600, don't pay tax. So that's this again. This is all speculation. I have no
Right.
grounds whatsoever for thinking that this is completely
Right.
genuine. But wouldn't it make sense if you did that though? So that's again. This is the kind of mind I have. I'm an incredibly suspicious person, and so these are the sorts of things. I've only ever seen one person flexing a pair of Montana Mills trainers, the tarantulas. They bought a pair of tarantulas. They're the black ones. And someone pointed out to me tarantulas don't have 10 legs. Brilliant observation. But yeah, and then they were flexing them on TikTok or something like this. And I was like, well, they'd kind of like comboed them with jeans, and it was just, I was like, oh my goodness me, this person is, bless her. It must have been called Karen. And she was, blessed. But that's the only person I've seen flexing them.
Okay.
And surely if you're going to bang a grand on trainers, you're going to make sure everybody knows, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to be tagging him up. You're going to say, oh, look, hey, Maserati. Oh, no, sorry, it's not Maserati, is it? Yeah, let me flip up the trainer the other way around and it'll probably be something else. So, I think, which has changed it now, actually. If you notice, there's a woman on Instagram that he works with a lot. Her name is Jazzy Prophet. And Jazzy Prophet is the woman who either organized or promoted their tour in Atlanta. And Jazzy Prophet's a great place to find the videos, actually. If you've ever wondered where to find the videos of Montana Mills performing, particularly with a pregnant Juju, that's where you need to go. Jazzy Prophet. She's got some great material, actually. It's really good. But so she's the one who promotes them a lot, or certainly did in Atlanta. And on there, Mills was using a different logo, but it was such low-res imagery. I could not work out for the life of me what it was. Like a green and red thing. It's sort of circular with, it kind of looks like a red M on some green mess behind it, because Juju had a logo on there too. So, because she apparently was going to launch something sparkly. So presumably she was just going to do the jewelry version of Montana Mills' trainers. That, again, I have no evidence whatsoever, none whatsoever. But there's a poster on there that teases an idea. It's something sparkly. Okay, cool. She wears the necklace a lot. You could put these things together, but I could be, one and coming up with, $1,029 plus postage. So it could, it's that's a lot of my speculation. So I could be completely wrong. I am more than happy to be wrong. I will suck up every wrong word that I have.
Absolutely.
But I've not been challenged on any of this. And with Moka, when I said everything I had to say about him, lots of things went disappearing. So I challenged his magazine appearances and his relationship with a man. I'm going to name him. His name is Chris D. Neptune. There's a certain relationship there which has to do with these magazines. And in fact, if you read the stuff in the magazines, you'll find out that actually he has a relationship with the guy, Chris D. Neptune, who produced those magazines. When I call this out, all of those magazines are now off his website. I read his about, and I called him out on a lot of things in that. That's suddenly gone too. So it's interesting. Again, I'm just following the trail, using me big fat nose, and finding a lot of very smelly things along the way. So yes.
Well, you seem like a Redditor. Are you on Reddit?
I try not to. I try not to. No.
I mean, they will find out everything about you, all the way down to the color of drawers you got on that day.
Yeah. No, I'm sure they are. I do post on there every now and then. I put my new videos on there sometimes. But I try not to read it too much. Yeah, they're really harsh. They're like.
Yeah, I'm scared to death.
Yeah, they are. That is the lion's den.
I don't play with Reddit. They're my friend.
Yeah. I think once I mentioned Elizabeth's dead name, and oh my goodness me, did I suffer? I deleted after that. That was horrendous. But yeah, they're really savage over there, and I don't really have time for this sort of savagery, and it's blind savagery where they're like, and what I say is 100% true because I am a redditor, and there is this sort of holier than thou attitude that I think goes with some redditors, not all redditors, but some redditors certainly do have the holier than thou attitude.
Well, they have been
So,
my friend and they have been my advocate. I had some
hmm,
problems with some cast members of 90 Day Fiance years ago, and they came out in droves in my support. And so
hmm.
I have nothing but respect for the people out there on
Are you
Reddit.
saying that because you're scared?
No, no, I'm being serious. I mean, this made the papers and everything. I mean, like
Oh,
literally.
really? Wow.
Absolutely. And they came out in droves in my support. So
Wow.
I have nothing but respect for
Hmm.
them and the work that they do. Because when they're behind someone, when they're behind you, they are a force to be reckoned with.
Hmm.
So I've always had a lot of respect for the people who are on Reddit. And a lot of them are really good people, but they're like you. They want to get down to the truth. They don't like a fake or a phony.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They don't.
yeah. But although I did say, I'm sure I did say, not all of them, but there is some that have that attitude, and I think that is what puts you off. If it was a case of you only listened or read the positive comments, oh, fantastic, you know. In fact, some people on there, I had one of the most my favorite squee. I'm having a fangirl moment was what someone said to me the other day, and I really felt like I was a somebody for a second. Then it made me feel really, really good. But I try not to read it too much because they often notice similar things to what I notice. And if I then, again, I don't want to be having their jokes or whatever in my mind. I want my stuff to be my
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You
Yeah.
want it to be
So I
authentic.
try not to go there for that reason.
Same here. Same
But
here.
yeah, and sometimes the odd one that does come at you. But I'm like that though. I don't know. Perhaps you're the same. I could probably read 100 nice comments, but it's the one where they go, "Oh, your accent." That makes your yeah. I hate your British accent, and it makes your whole videos unwatchable. And this is the one that goes, "Oh no," and I carry that one. I carry it in my breast pocket for far too long, and it just affects me for a stupid amount of time. But then I have all these wonderful people saying all these really wonderful things, and we've got the Discord thing where we can chat, and and I see the chat going, and I talk to them a lot, and I try and respond to every comment that gets made on the videos, and such wonderful people. Why can't I listen to that? Are you the same? Do you find yourself doing that? You're made of stronger stuff than me, aren't you?
No, I've just
Uh,
been doing it for so long that I mean, you can say what you want to say as long as you're not disrespectful. And I determine
hmm,
who's disrespectful, and so do my two moderators. But no, I don't focus on one negative comment unless I think that the comment was um like if I get out here and I read you and I say something to you, I'm going to be in that moment and I'm going to say what I need to say. There have been some videos in the past where actually came out and done a video to address comments, because if the comments are the same thread of thought, then it needs to be addressed. But no, I don't look at the negative comments. If they're really disrespectful, I delete them. If they're about, race, color, creed, nationality, religion, LGBT, like those kind of comments, they're gone.
hmm,
Like, I don't even think about it. But if it's a personal attack about me, Auntie, I don't like your hair, or you said X, Y, and Z, and I disagree, or whatever, I don't have a problem with it at all. I've learned how to take the bitter with the sweet.
hmm.
I've learned how to eat the meat and to throw out the bones. And
Sorry, I've been such a child.
the longer you do it, the more the tougher your skin gets. In the beginning, it's very offensive. It does bother you. You do see the negative, but then you got to think about all those people who rely on you every day to bring your best self, to bring your authentic self every day. And after a while, those that will outweigh everything else, because people are waiting on me every day to see and hear what I have to say. And if I let one comment bother me to the extent that I'm not giving them what they deserve, shame on me. But you'll get tougher skin. Trust me. You will get tougher skin, and after a while, you will just tell them to kiss your ass. I mean,
Yeah.
really, you'll tell them to kiss your ass because you've got thousands of people, or at least let's say not even 1,000. Let's say half of that. You got 500 people who love
Hmm.
you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Fuck the one.
Again, I think I'm quite lucky. It's only on Reddit that I find that.
Okay,
On
okay,
YouTube
okay,
itself, then
okay.
like
Well, buckle up.
very rare to
It'll
have
start
a
happening on
thing.
YouTube too, because now
One
you're
day.
out there. We all have found out about who you are. Your subscriber count is going to go up, and because of that, so will
Thank
your
you.
haters. But your haters, you got to learn how to let them make you greater.
Yeah, plus it might be kind of fun. I'm up for that sort of as long as they're funny. If someone comes at you and go, hey, Colonel Sanders, you look like your finger looking bad, or I don't know, something like that. Great, fantastic, let's
Yeah,
go
because
for it.
that's shade. That's
I
shade.
could do
Touche.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Touche.
Yeah, you're a D head, and I just hate your accent. I mean, there's nothing you can work with. There's nothing you can kind of you didn't hate it in 1775 or something. Yeah, I don't know. There's stuff you can come up with, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I have that type of sense of humor. I'm more kind of observational, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. But I don't mind really. I'm good at handling it in real life. I'm perfectly fine with it in real life. I was a teacher for some years, so you'd get a lot of the kids. What are those? Your
Right,
shoes and
right.
stuff like that. Looking as I do, they go, "Oh my god, who is this guy?" And they'd call me all sorts of things and all that sort of stuff. But so yeah, I don't really mind it. It's just when I read it, that gets me. It's like a weird
Well,
thing
have
because it's
somebody else
internal.
read it for you. Have somebody else read it for you. Stop reading until your skin gets thicker. And if you need somebody to talk to, Auntie is always here.
I shall bear that in mind. I'm thrilled to have met you and honoured
I
to
am
have come along.
too.
It's yeah, this is great. This is very comfortable here. This is although I need to kind of be looking this way, don't I? I need to sort
No,
of
you look
look that way.
wonderful.
Otherwise we're all looking in one
No, you
direction
look
like we're waiting for a bus.
absolutely wonderful just the way you are. I thank you
Oh,
so
that's
much
so
for
sweet. That's
being
so sweet. Thank you.
willing to talk to me at such a short notice.
No
I'm
problem.
going to subscribe to your channel. We'll follow you. Everybody, you all can follow him on YouTube under give him your YouTube address.
Lord Lukan, LAWD, Lukan,
Okay,
LUKA.
so let me see. I think
Yeah.
I have just one second. Let me see something.
But I do love it that you call me Lord Lunken. That I loved that. That made me laugh so much. It was so
And
beautiful.
I will, but one thing about me is I will fuck up a name. Okay, so let me put this on. I wanted to make sure that they get your
There
name.
we go. Yes, that's it. Perfect. Look at
So
that.
there we go, you all. That is his name. You can follow him with the same. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much for having
coming
me.
out.
I'm honoured. Truly I am. I'm. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And keep us updated on what's going on.
Yes, absolutely will. Absolutely will. And I'll be sure to come and let you know. Absolutely,
Absolutely. And
100%.
make sure you
Yes,
keep your videos up. Every time you get an opportunity and so you
absolutely.
hear something, damn it, go on live on YouTube.
I sure will do. I'm having lessons from the master here. You're
I'm
my
not a
chief, my
master.
chief.
I'm not. I am such a small fry in a big tank. But we're growing, so we're happy
Yeah.
about that.
Well, everything's relative, and from where I'm sitting, you are certainly a taller tower than I. So it's an honor.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, thank you,
Everybody say bye. Thank
thank you. Bye
you.
bye.
Bye-bye. So you all, that was fantastic having an opportunity to talk with Lord Lucan. Okay. But this is going to be it for this video. I thank you all so much for being here. I see that they have changed some things out. But we'll be back soon. I love you all to pieces, y'all. Thank you to my moderators who always keep the chat nice and safe. Until we meet again, y'all, have a great night. Bye.